every day you wake up with a limited amount of attention, your energy and time. And most people, they wasted all three before noon without even realizing it. They scroll through the other people's lives, react to notification like trained robots, and complain about the problems they already know how to solve. And then they wonder why they feel stuck, anxious, the unmotivated is tough and invisible. The truth is brutal, but simple. Your future is not controlled by motivation, your talent, your luck, or even intelligence nearly as much as it's controlled by one decision you make every single day. The one thing you must do today is take control of your focus before the world takes it from you. Because once your focus is gone, your direction disappears with it. And when your direction disappears, your life slowly becomes random. And most people didn't notice this happening because distraction, it feels harmless in small doses. 5 minutes on your phone becomes an hour, and one lazy day becomes a lazy month, and or one postponed goal becomes a permanent regret. And eventually, people wake up in 10 years later wondering where the ambition even went. Then the other scary part is that nothing dramatic caused the damage. It was the tiny daily surrenders of attention that destroyed the momentum over time. And that is why controlling your focus today matters more than anything else you could do. Focus determines your action, action determines your habits, and habits determine your entire identity. If you can direct your attention intentionally, you can change your life faster than you think. But if you cannot control your attention, then someone else will always control your priorities. Social media companies understand this, advertisers understand this, and streaming platforms, they definitely understand this. Every major company on earth is fighting for your focus because focus is the gateway to your behavior. The longer they hold your attention, the more influence they gain over your choices, emotions, purchases, and beliefs. And most people willingly hand out over that power every morning before they even get out of bed. They start the day consuming instead of creating, reacting instead of leading, escaping instead of building. And then they wonder why they feel mentally exhausted despite accomplishing almost nothing meaningful. Your brain was not designed to constantly switch tasks every 30 seconds. Every notification, every random video, every unnecessary interruption pulls your brain in another direction and leaves behind mental residue. Even when you return to your work, part of your attention stays trapped in the previous distractions. And this is why people feel busy all day, but still in the day frustrated and behind. Their attention has been shattered into pieces too small to produce meaningful progress. Deep focus is becoming rare, and because it is rare, it's becoming incredibly valuable. A person who can sit down for one uninterrupted hour and fully concentrate already has an advantage over most of the population. The problem is that most people wait to feel motivated before protecting their attention. But motivation is unreliable. Discipline is what matters. You must decide what your future deserves more respect than your distractions. And that means creating moments in your day where your mind is no longer available to chaos. Turn off the unnecessary notifications. Put the phone in another room. Stop checking messages every 5 minutes and sit down and do one difficult thing without interruption. It sounds simple because it is simple. But simple does not mean easy. Your brain is addicted to stimulation because modern technology trains you to crave novelty every second. Real growth feels slower and less exciting than endless entertainment, but entertainment rarely changes your life. Focused effort does. And think about every meaningful achievement in human history. The great businesses, the inventions, the books, the arts, the breakthrough, the aesthetic performances, and the scientific discoveries were not created by distracted people multitasking all day. They were created by people capable of concentrating deeply on one mission for extended periods of time. Focus is not a productivity tool, it is a superpower. And the reason so few people develop it is because distraction is easier in the short term. It's easier to consume than to create, and easier to delay than begin, and easier to complain than improve. But easy choices, they create them hard lives later. Difficult choices create easier lives later. And when you learn to control your attention, something powerful starts happening every day. Your confidence, it grows because you finally keep promises to yourself. Your stress decreases. Your brain is no longer overloaded with that constant input, and your goals, they become clearer because you actually spend time thinking instead of endlessly reacting. And perhaps most importantly, you start feeling present again. So many people live in a permanent state of mental noise. They cannot sit in a silence. They cannot focus on one conversation. They cannot finish a task without checking something else. And their minds are constantly scattered. And scattered minds, they create scattered lives. But clarity, it returns when focus returns. You begin noticing opportunities other people miss. You start understanding yourself better. You become more intentional with your decisions instead of drifting through routines on autopilot. And the most dangerous thing about that distraction is that it often feels productive. Watching motivational clips all day feels like self improvement, which mine are. Okay, so make sure you watch mine though. And subscribe too. But inspirations without expectations or execution changes nothing. Planning without action changes nothing. Thinking about goals without focused work changes nothing. And the world rewards execution, not intention. And execution requires attention. And this is why the one thing you must do today is reclaim ownership of your mind. Even if you start small, start now. Spend 30 uninterrupted minutes working towards something that genuinely matters to you. Read something challenging, build a skill, exercise without checking your phone, write down your goals clearly, have a real conversation without looking at or at a screen. Train your brain to stay present long enough to produce that progress. And because every time you resist distraction, your strength, your ability to direct your life intentionally, most people never realize how much potential they lose to constant distraction because the loss, it happens gradually. But the people who learn to focus, they gain an edge that compounds for years. They learn faster, they think clearer, they perform better, and they recover their sense of purpose. In a distracted world, focus becomes the freedom. And the moment you stop allowing random noise to control your attention in the moment, you finally start taking control of your future. And the reality is that your life is shaped less by massive life changing moments and more by repeated daily patterns. And one focused hour every day can completely transform your career, your health, your finances, and your mindset over time. And people underestimate the consistency because results are invisible at first. But small disciplined actions compound quietly until suddenly the gap between focused people and distracted people become the impossible to ignore. And the habits you build today become the reality you live tomorrow. Protect your attention like your future depends on it because it absolutely does. Thanks for watching today's video. If you found value in today's video, I'd highly appreciate a subscription. If you could do that for me, I thank you. We're looking to build this channel. Without that subscription base, we just can't build it. I got to have it. So if you would do that for me, I'd appreciate it. And I will see you guys tomorrow on the next video because you know what? I'm here every day. So let's see. Let's build this community together because the negativity in this world sucks and we need to rebuild it from the ground up. Let's get better together. Sounds like a song. Wasn't that like Jamie Johnson? Better together. Yeah, that is a good song. But I'm not gay or anything, okay? I'm straight, just so you know. You guys have a good day. Not that I'm against gays. I'm just saying I'm straight. Have a good day. You guys take care. Hopefully I made you laugh.